You had the first scrimmage. What stood out for the defense? Any moments in particular kind of come to mind from the first scrimmage?
I would definitely say just the way we come out and play hard, be disciplined, do the main three things that Coach Haynes and Coach Sid want us to do, play fast, physical, and relentless. For the first scrim, I feel like we came out and definitely did that.
We'll go Zach to the set.
I know a year ago you were talking about sort of finding your voice a little bit more, becoming more of a leader. I imagine that becomes an even bigger emphasis now. Just how has that sort of process been for you? Maybe even over the last 12 months, but certainly now knowing that some of the more experienced guys ahead of you are gone, and that your teammates look to you more often in that role.
It's definitely a big thing. With me being a vocal leader now, knowing that older guys are gone, and now that I'm the older guy here and know what it takes to win. So I definitely feel like I'm doing a good job of being that leader, being that role model for the safety room and for the team as well.
We'll go Seth into Pete.
Yeah, Amare, what do you feel like is the next step for you in your game in terms of, on the field, just what are you trying to grow in? What areas are you trying to grow this year?
Just like we talked about being a leader, I just want to make everybody around me better, make everybody's job easier, just being able to communicate, fly around for my brothers.
Pete to Sammy.
Yeah, Amare, Coach Haynes' defense has been described as diabolical, among other things. Has there been any tweaks to it or anything that makes it unique, maybe even more unique this year?
I feel like what makes his defense unique is Coach Haynes. The stuff he does, he just puts us in the greatest position to make those plays, So I would definitely give all the credit to Coach Haynes. We just do what he says and execute it.
We'll go Sammy and then to Zach B.
At the beginning of the year last year, you guys had some communication breakdowns and coverage breakdowns. With the new group of guys back there with you, how are you working to kind of limit those mistakes now so where it doesn't show up early in the season?
Just like I say, just doing it, over communicating. You never could get enough of communicating, so we won't have those problems this year. Me and Zachman and those guys, we making sure we do a great job of over communicating, making sure everybody knows what everybody's doing.
We'll go Zach B. Then to Jared.
What's your relationship like with Preston, and how quickly did he pick up on the defense?
Our relationship is a great relationship. He's a guy that played a lot of football. He came from a great defensive school, so he was able to pick up on things a lot quicker than a lot of guys that have played in this defense.
Jared and the Mike B.
You've been able to watch Byron develop over the last year. Just what have you seen from this offseason, and then just how far has he come since last spring?
He definitely came a long way. He's grown up a little bit. He's making a lot of plays. He's getting more plays, being able to be out there with some veteran guys, being able to show himself to coach and us. But he still has a lot of things to work on. But he's definitely in a great spot.
Go Mike B. Then to Ethan.
What's the thing that you guys want to take away the most from last season and change going into this season?
I would probably say last season. What we did last year was last year's team. This is a whole new team. Most of the returning guys really haven't even talked about last year. We don't want to bring that into this season because it's a new season. We got to do it all over again. Continue to get better every day.
We'll go Ethan then to Nis.
I know you were saying how you want to take that next leadership role. In your eyes, has there been anyone that stood out to you so far in these first few weeks of camp?
I would definitely say Anthony Chung. Anthony Chung has been a guy that has definitely stepped up for us. He was a walk-on last year. He's getting a chance to make a lot of plays, and he's definitely been showing us that he can make a lot of plays for us.
And then Nis will close us out.
How much does that experience in the linebacker room help you guys with Hardy and Jones coming back and Jones having kind of really good feel for the defense? How much does it help make your job easier? And how excited do you have those guys in front of you?
I feel like those guys right there, I feel like we're all in the same position, with guys that was in our room last year from leaving, so we all have to step up. Isaiah has to step up as the green dot guy. Ro has to step up. I have to step up. So I feel like with us, us three will be very good leaders for this defense.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.